10,000 times to get trigger level.
Oh man, we'll run it again.
Shot him in his foot.
What? Did my helmet just disappear? Oh no!
Josh
wait.
said, just run it again.
He said I just got done running silo.
Someone else is here.
What is up, guys? Joshyposhyvr here, and I have been playing the new Ghosts of Tabor update for the last couple of days, and I do want to talk about it. A little bit different format in today's video. It's a little less scripted because I am late getting it out to you, and it's a little bit more off the top of my head than my traditional voiceover videos. But getting into the update has brought a ton of content to Ghosts of Tabor, but we aren't going to cover every single fix and update, but mainly what I liked and what I disliked. If you want to see a full video covering the fixes and breakdowns of everything, leave a comment. But we're just going to talk about the good things in the update and some things that I think have some good room for improvement or just suggestions that are just my opinion. So we do have the Terran Tactical or the John Wick DLC that made it, and I think overall that the weapons feel amazing and have been extremely well crafted. I do think that the sword is kind of stupid, but that's just because it's not my play style. A lot of people seem to love the sword, and that is great for the game. I don't think all the weapons are overly powerful, but it just gives a nice alternative to the weapons that we've been playing with for the last few months. Now, do keep in mind when you buy the DLC that you need the respected trader level in order to use those weapons. That's something that I understand. You don't want people to be able to quote unquote pay to win, where you can spend $4 and then instantly have access to all of these weapons. However, I don't totally agree with that. I think that they're not that overpowered, and if you're a newer player or you're not really that good at leveling up your traders or the game, I don't think being able to purchase those weapons and then give them back to the player economy because you're dying with them is a terrible thing. I would like to see maybe a circumvent to this where you can purchase the DLC and have access to all of the Terran Tactical weapons. However, you're only allowed to buy them like once a day or something. And speaking of new weapons, we did get new bolt actions. The bolt action M19 and the Mosin look just as amazing as the Terran Tactical weapons do, and they feel really good. They feel better than the Hunter, in my opinion. I don't use bolt action rifles too much. I should probably start using them more. I just wish that when a new bolt action or a new weapon was released, that missions would get updated to reflect that as well, because right now I don't see a reason to use the Mosin or the M19 over the Hunter when you're leveling up Spectre, because that Spectre bolt action mission is really, really good. They did add bleeding mechanics in this update as well. The bleeding mechanic is solid. I think that there might be a bug where Fenix don't cause bleeds, but then also Fenix used traditionally smaller caliber weapons, so maybe they just aren't triggering bleeds. I think that adding bleeding to the game makes firefights super intense when you have a bleed or you know you've put a bleed on somebody else and you have to like make that split second decision to finish the engagement or bandage yourself. They also added insurance in this update, which was a W to see in my opinion. It's a good step in the right direction. All of your purchase weapons, you can click a button to insure them. If they don't get extracted when you die by another player, you essentially get those items back cheaper than what it would be to rebuy them in 24 hours. I personally use a lot of scavenged weapons. I really wish that I could insure existing items in the bunker, especially as a Founding Father. I get a lot of the Founding Father equipment, and it'd be really cool to insure that equipment as well. Maybe we'll see it in the future, maybe not. I get some of the reasons why it would be negative to do that, especially with all of the trading that goes on in the game. They added a weight system, which everyone seemed to hate the weight system announcement on TikTok. After playing with it the last couple of days, I think that the weight system is perfectly balanced. I am not somebody who used to jam-pack backpacks together full of scavenged loot, and I'm very selective about what I take out of every raid. So it's an adjustment of playstyle for a lot of people that are used to just packing their backpacks full of stuff, but it never really affected me to begin with. Speaking of backpacks, though, I am not a huge fan of backpacks closing when they hit the ground. It's insanely annoying to do a backpack swap from like an adventure backpack to a gear tech from another player that you've killed. Tabor has always aimed for realism and to be realistic, and I think that not having a backpack being able to be unzipped on the ground takes the realism away from me. I know that there's probably a logical reason for this or a performance reason, but as somebody who often swaps out backpacks in raid, I absolutely hate it. They've also added sounds when opening crates and cabinets. It's a super minor change I just want to touch on, but it brings a huge difference to every single map. You can get quiet and listen, and you can hear players opening cabinets and crates, and it's a super fun way to get the drop on people quickly because you know that they're head down in a crate. The sound is somewhat delayed though, but I think that it could be probably just be fixed in an upcoming update. Stealing people's guns is back, and you can steal people's guns out of holsters again. Hooray. While this never happened to me with random player encounters, I play with an absolute bunch of other idiot content creators. So I love being trolled by them, and it really just is a reflection on my friends and that I probably need to find new friends to play with. Improved UI for the kiosks. This is like super minor. I don't really have much to say about this. Not a lot can really be said about the new UI system except just like bravo. It feels good, it works, it's an amazing change to the game. The improved throwing mechanics are a big deal. Throwing feels fixed finally. Grenades actually go where I want them to go, which makes me pick them up and play with them way more now. I'd love to see the ability to have grenades on your armor and be able to just pull them off and throw them. With the throwing mechanics also came melee mechanics because they added the new John Wick sword. The new melee mechanics were added into the game, and overall they feel really good. They needed to be overhauled. I don't think they're perfect, but they are way better than they were before. I don't use melee in the game. I'm super basic. I like to just shoot guns, and it's a really minor change for how I play. But it's time to address the elephant in the room. You either love it or hate it, but Maka Meist was released, which is actually the background of today's video. This is the overview map of it. I'm really optimistic about Maka. I will have a map guide coming for Maka in the upcoming weeks to add to my existing map guide video series. If you haven't seen those, Island and Silo, you can find them here on the channel. Hit the subscribe button while you're looking for them. The Tabor community, I think, was desperate for a new map. And when CWS stated that a new map was in the works, the community began setting unrealistic expectations for a new map. I truly feel that no matter what CWS delivered, people were going to complain about it. Maka isn't perfect by any means, but it is a beautifully crafted map, and it has some really intense moments to it. Those intense moments do feel short though, because there's only 6 players on the map, but that's definitely going to change as the map expands. We got an unfinished map. They were very forefront explaining that it was unfinished, but it's a smooth performing. Right now, I don't see many reasons to play Maka other than just it's the vibe of the new map and learning new angles and learning new hotspots and where players can rat it out at. Every map generally has a viable reason to play it, to build the value of your bunker, to build the value of your account progression. And I feel like right now Maka doesn't serve a purpose in that regard, especially when doing missions. This is the first iteration of it though, and I think depending on how long it stays 6 players, there needs to probably be some Phoenix spawn adjustments to add more intense firefights and maybe optimize the loot a little bit because it does feel a little bit low on Modka. Overall though, this update is a solid 9.5 and it really has reignited my desire to play Tabor a lot again. I've been having fun streaming it live on TikTok and posting daily content over there. So if you're looking for more Tabor content from me, between my weekly Thursday uploads here on YouTube, that is the place. But that is going to do it all for me. I will see you guys all on next Thursday.